Talk to me,
Hello there and welcome to Purpose Wednesday. I'm Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other goodies, y'all. I've had an amazing day, and I pray that you have had an amazing day as well. I also pray that every day to come is even greater and more amazing than the one before it. We're starting a new series today, and it's called Purpose in Action, Living Out Your Calling. We've talked about the importance of knowing the meaning of your name, the importance of knowing your personality traits and your spiritual gifts. We've also talked about how all of those things align with your purpose, right? So we're putting all of that together, and we're going to be talking about living out your call. Today's session is defining your why. In this session of defining your why, we're going to address three things. One, we're going to talk about why your why matters. We're going to use Jeremiah as an example, and we're going to talk about his God-given purpose. And we're going to talk about his why and how it motivated him to persevere. Now, during this time, I want you to think about why your why matters. What is the why? Why did God call you? What is your God-given purpose? And how is it going to motivate you to persevere, even in the midst of situations and circumstances, okay? Your why matters. Well, your why matters simply because it's the very foundation of you, sugar. Yes, your why fuels your passion. It drives you. It motivates you. Your why must be rooted and grounded in God's purpose. And it will cause you to not lose focus or direction. It will strengthen you and cause you to persevere. Jeremiah's God-given purpose. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Now, Jeremiah's why is simply to be a messenger of God. In other words, he's supposed to operate in the spiritual gift out for prophet. He's supposed to prophesy to the nations, right? That means kings, queens, that means the high officials in the government, even the priests. He's supposed to prophesy to them, and not only them, but the people as well in Judah, right? Now, Jeremiah, he's like, no, I can't do this. Look, God, call somebody older. I'm too young. I don't believe that I can do this. So he doubted his ability. But God said, "I chose you and I set you apart even before you were formed in your mother's womb." In other words, listen, I don't need you to give me any lip or any excuses. Let me just tell you this now. I know what you needed to do the job that I call you for. So it's already in you. You have everything you need to do the job that I require of you. Jeremiah's why motivated him to persevere. We see in Jeremiah chapter 20, Jeremiah is talking about how he's being rejected, right? And how hard it is to do his job. And I'm just paraphrasing. But he still persevered. Even though he's rejected, he still speaks the words that God says for him to speak. And we see in Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9, he says that his word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. Now, his why gives him strength, even in the midst of rejection, even in the midst of trials and tribulation, even in the midst when people are not really listening to what he's saying. They don't believe that God has said that to him, because even throughout Jeremiah's life, God called him to do some crazy stuff. You know, he's called to do things that are not normal, and that normal people don't do. He's called to do those things. But he understands that his why is important. God called him to bring a word to a people, his people. And if he didn't bring that word to God's people, how would they hear? If you don't do the work that God has called you to do, how is it going to get done? Now that we know what our why is, we've defined our why, and we know why it matters. We've looked at Jeremiah and his why his why mattered, and how it caused him to persevere, even in the midst of rejection, even in the midst of doubt. Listen, I want to call you to action. Yes, you. I want to call you to action. Take a moment and think about your why. Why do you do what you do? Why has God called you? What motivates you to operate and serve in your God and your calling? And in one sentence, I want you to write one sentence saying what your why is. All right? As we come to the end of this Purpose Wednesday session, I want to leave you with Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 17 through 19. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar, and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you. For I am with you and I will rescue you, declares the Lord. Honey, do whatever God has called you to do. Make sure it's God calling you to do it. Do that. And don't be afraid. God is with you. Honey, he has strengthened you and he has made you a fortified city, an iron pillar, honey. Guess what? You can sustain in this purpose. Whatever God has called you to do, he's made you strong enough to withstand it. Have a nice night. And thank you for watching Purpose Wednesday. Good night, y'all.
Talk to me.